Hello, everyone. I'm here with a familiar face to me, and maybe a familiar face to you if you've been following along My Line Purpose over the years, because Meg, you are an OG. You have been in this community since pretty much the beginning, which makes my heart so happy. And I'm excited for everybody to get to hear from you. Perhaps if people have not yet met you or heard from you yet, which I assume there will be plenty, can you start off by sharing with us where you're calling in from today and what you're grateful for?
Mm. Hi.
Hi.
I am calling in from Jordan River, BC, way out in the wild West Coast. I am grateful for going to bed early last night and having a delicious sleep.
Mm,
So needed, especially in this transitional time of year.
yes, so good. My Aura Ring said this morning that I had a 96% sleep score. I was like, I will take it.
Oh, that's really good. Well
Yeah.
done.
Wow. Okay, great. 8.5 hours. This is my new norm now.
Yes, amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Also grateful for sleep. Okay, calling in, like you said, from the wild West Coast. And yeah, it's so dreamy where you're at. You always take your calls from beautiful locations around your home. And yeah, I'm so excited to retreat with you. Meg's hosting a retreat coming up on your property, and I can't wait. I know just being in the magic of you and the woods and Jordan River and all of it's going to be so juicy. We'll probably get into that. Why don't you tell us? What's the work that you're in? Who do you love helping? Why do you love doing what you do?
I am a mindful movement educator and somatic coach. I've been doing this work for next year will actually make 20 years for me, which is like a big milestone and really exciting.
Oh,
Um, I have always been passionate about doing this work from a really young age, obviously. A lot of that stems from my own health journey and realizing the power of self-transformation and wanting to be a guide for others to be able to do the same, to allow them to take hold of their own health and feel empowered in their choices, feel like they have autonomy over their body. And so that is the work that I've been doing for a very long time now. And I feel really excited about helping women that are in transitional points in their life where maybe like I sometimes use the word there, like at that tipping point where they are ready for a change, but they maybe don't know how to make those changes.
mm,
And we figure that out together.
mm. Yeah, you can't beat having 20 years in an industry. Like you know your work, you know what you love, what lights you up, you know how you can support others. Would you say along the journey over the last 20 years that the specifics of how you really want to help somebody have gotten more narrow? Or would you say over the course of the 20 years of helping people, the specifics have gotten broader? Oh, I could actually help all of these people, or oh, this is really where I want to focus my time and energy.
Great question. In some ways, it's almost both. I feel like the ways in which I can help people has broadened immensely. When I first started as a teacher, I was really teaching Pilates and yoga, which is can get very narrow and very specific and very body centered, which I love. And now I know that everything that is in the body is also a part of who we are as a whole person. So it becomes so much more expansive than just the body. It is who are you in the world? Who do you want to be in the world? And
Mm,
how can we help you to be that person? So in that way, it broadens out. In the specificity, it gets a little more narrow because I'm not the teacher that's going to tell you what to do. I'm
right.
not like we're in collaboration. So you have to be at that point where you're ready to actually own it, to take responsibility, and
Mm,
then we can move forward. So there is that, like, yeah, it does get a little more specific about who, but what we can do is so broad, it's actually mind-boggling.
I love that. And there, Oprah has said it for decades. Like you, she wishes somebody could run on the treadmill for her, but that's not how it works. And we can give people all of the resources and tools and direction of how they can support their body and move their body. And they can literally mirror what it is that you're showing them or doing. Somebody who has 20 plus years experience in the field that you're in. And it is up to the individual to say, I am going to be responsible here, move my body, learn from you. And yeah, I think that it's really powerful and excellent boundaries to say, like, I don't handhold.
Yeah, absolutely. And that doesn't mean that you can't ask for help. So
Right.
taking responsibility doesn't mean like you can't say, I need help to figure this out, or I need a cheerleader, or like anyone that has ever worked with me will tell you 100% I am one hell of a cheerleader.
Yes.
And if you're in, I'm in 100% with you. So it's like there's that meeting of the energy that can happen to create the changes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you are one hell of a cheerleader for sure. Oh, so good. Okay. We are going to switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you a couple of questions about your experience being in Align CEO for 3 years, going into year four. Woohoo! So exciting. And then we're going to bring it back to, I know you're up to some really cool things this fall and moving into the new year, so then we'll come back and talk about that. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. First question for you, Meg, is when you think back to where you were 4 years ago before coming into Align CEO Method, which used to be called Platinum, and you think about who you were as a business owner versus perhaps how you identify as a business owner now, what feels like your biggest transformation or aha moment of how you identify as business owner?
So when I first started, I don't think I actually even really identified as a business owner.
Mm,
Yes, I was running a business, but it was almost like I didn't know I was running a business, if that makes sense. I was doing contract work in different studios, and even though I was flourishing in all of that, I didn't really take it on that I could make it something bigger.
mm,
And when I came into your sphere, that's when I started to think really expand into the dream world of what is actually possible here. And in that, starting to dream, the identity of becoming a CEO of my own business became a little bit more natural to take that on and to introduce myself as that.
I love that, that taking that on, that identity. We often talk in Align CEO, in my Align Purpose, about how nobody is ever going to come give you that badge. Nobody's ever going to come place the crown on you and say, okay, now you're the CEO. We really have to step into that identity and believe it for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really exciting when and a little daunting. That's why we need coaches, right?
Yeah.
If you take it on, it's exciting, but it's a little scary. But it also puts you in the seat of owning your business, of really driving it so that you get to steer the ship. You get to decide this is where I'm going. And I think that's pretty fun.
It is pretty fun. Yes. Okay, I love that. My second question is, we have these calls every week. We don't want anybody slipping between the cracks. And that has only happened in the last 2 years because when you first started, it was a hybrid of giving one-to-one call a month and then one community call. And we made the transition to say, no, we want to support everybody every week. So now that we have this structure of weekly calls, there's Q&A, there's mini mastermind, there's mindset, there's vortex, there's accelerator calls. What would you say is your favorite and why?
I think it's the accelerators. I love to be in that deep dive energy and being with the entire community, going into breakout rooms and talking with other business women, doing the behind the scenes work that really moves the business forward. And I love that we get these 2 days of really concentrated time together. So I would say that is probably my favorite call. I love all of it. You know me, I try to show up for absolutely everything. And I think there's something to be gained from being there and being committed to all of the call.
I agree. Yeah, you are so dedicated, and that's why you continue to be passionate about your business and continue to move forward with your business because you do commit to showing up to calls and learning and being a sounding board for other women and also being open to what other people have as ideas for you. And I think that just is so incredible. In hearing from so many of you that accelerators are your favorite, we changed the 2025 model to add them so that they're every 60 days instead of every 90 days. And we're so excited. And that came off the back of having so many conversations with aligned CEOs and hearing like, oh, my favorite call is the accelerator because I love those deep dives. And we're like, okay, we hear it loud and clear. More accelerators. Yeah. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, me too. I like when I saw that was coming up for next year, I'm like, yes, hell yes, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, last question. And I'm so excited to hear your response to this. My Line Purpose is a really special community as a whole. Align CEO Method, I think, is a even more special community. And I personally find it really hard to explain to people. I find it so hard to explain. I'm just like, you have to come in, you have to experience it. It is better experienced than explained. What would you say to somebody who is not a part of Align CEO Method yet about what this community means to you or has done for you?
Oh, I have to take a breath here because it actually is emotional because the connection with these other women is like some of the deepest friendships that I have ever made. Working alongside other women who are in the pit with you, that are getting dirty. And we all know that being a business owner is so much more than just what you are producing in the world or offering to the world. It makes you bump up against every part of yourself.
Mm,
The parts, all the shadow parts of yourself come to the front. And if you are alone in that, it can get so heavy and it can become really hard to move forward or to actually greet those parts of yourself and use them as a place for passion. And when you are working with other women, when you are in Align CEO,
mhm,
you get to talk about that stuff with other women who are experiencing it too, who can hold you in your struggle and
mm,
then light you up, lift you up, help show you the path forward. I think that's really what is at the deepest heart of it is that we're all linking arms. We're
mm,
all rallying for each other at any point. So I'm talking about the shadow parts, but it also, your celebration is my celebration. There
absolutely.
is scientific proof of this, that when we share our celebrations, other people feel it too, and it
Mm,
makes them excited too. So there's this ever expanding energy that comes from that. So, yeah, that's really hard to put into words. It's really hard to describe what that is. And you do have to experience it for yourself. But if you're walking this path alone, or maybe if you're walking this path with people that don't get that part of it, that don't get that it is heart work as
mhm,
well, then you're in the wrong place. You need to hop over to My Aligned Purpose because it is all of it. It is the real get down to work systems of business and how do we be real people inside our business.
I love that so much. I think about too how when say you were at the retreat this year, the like genuine bird's eye perspective, myself and Kayla just like sitting back and watching, say, for if I'm talking about you specifically, meeting up with friends that you haven't seen since the last retreat, and hugs and tears and excitement, and knowing that you've had friends fly in and spend time with you before the retreat that you met in this program. And I'm just like, wow, these connections are legit, they are lifelong, and they happened from meeting one another, like you said, in this container where we share wins, we share challenges. We had mini masterminds yesterday, and The first one we were all crying together, and the last one we were all crying together because people are bringing real life stuff to the table that is impacting how they show up in their business and being seen and felt in that from other women in the community. And so when I think about like you specifically and the place that you hold in this circle of women, it's huge.
Huge. It's huge. So exciting. It's so exciting to be in all of that energy together. Yeah, and when you were talking about the retreat, I speak to these women every single day, and I hadn't seen them in over a year. It's wow.
Yeah, because we're all over. Yeah, we're all over. Oh, it's so good. Okay, I really appreciate you sharing your perspective of what it's like to be inside of Align CEO, Meg. It really means a lot. And I'm so excited for other people to hear from you. And now I want to bring it back to you. You're up to some incredible things this fall and as we move forward, but this will be released very shortly. What do you have going on? Where can people check you out? What's for sale? How do we hire you? All the things.
Okay, love it. So you can find me at radianteffect.ca. And over there, we are just about to open the doors for the Healing Point, which is a 4-week nervous system restoration course designed specifically for the busy, overwhelmed woman. We have been working on this for years, distilling information to make it so bite-sized, so tangible. We know that women that are in that busy time of their life want to make changes and they're just so bloody overwhelmed. They're like, I don't even know. And so we've really made this course so doable. And we're running a live cohort, which means that you get weekly calls with us throughout the program, which is like huge, big value there because it's not just me, it is also my business partner, Rachel Mark, and we bring the fire. We have seen incredible transformations from this program. And then I am also opening up a few spots this fall for some one-on-one somatic coaching with myself. I have a few availabilities for that. And I think coming back to what you asked me earlier, who is this for? This is for the person that knows that their body is holding on with something
Mm,
and they're ready to work through it.
yeah.
And I will guide you. I will guide you through that.
Oh, you will. For everyone listening, watching, I have experienced both realms. I have experienced working in somatic coaching with Meg. It was a game changer. I put down a story that I had for over a decade. And when I say put down a story, that story was running the show about how I perceived movement and my body and yoga classes and all of these things. It was a game changer. And I've also experienced working with you and Rachel in Radiant Effect in Recalibrate and also knowing that the two of you are so wise, you're so experienced. Like you said, 20 years on your own. Rachel's, I'm sure, very close to 20 years in her field. That's a lot of knowledge. And I can't wait for people to get into the healing point. It's such an accessible price point. And I know so many people who've taken it and said it was such a game changer. So this is your opportunity to get into that, get signed up for somatic coaching, follow along on Instagram. Where do you
Radianteffect.ca.
radianteffect.ca. Follow along over there and connect with Meg. Reach out to her after you've heard this podcast or watched it on YouTube and say hello.
Hey, hello, I'm open to questions and we can always just hop on a call and chat.
Yes. Yeah, you're so open that way and inviting. I can't wait for everyone who's not met you yet to come say hello. And thank you, Meg, for coming here today and sharing your perspective of being inside of Align CEO. I'm so excited to go into year 4 together to see the magic that's going to unfold and all of the new nurturing relationships and connections that you're going to have. And yeah, I just really appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for inviting me to be here with you. I love this community and it's an honor to get to share my side of it.
Mm, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we'll be back later this week with another episode.